Hi everybody, welcome to Downward Dog Rising. I'm here to invite you to join me tonight to do some deep diaphragmatic breathing. So if you feel stressed out or anything, when you breathe deeply using your true respiratory muscle, the diaphragm, what happens is it calms you and it just resets your whole system because you start to use your accessory muscles of the shoulders and neck less, because when we get stressed, we tend to shallow chest breathe, where the chest rises and falls, and then all of these surrounding muscles tense up, and then they make us feel even worse. So tonight I want to get you out of there and go down into the lower lobes of the lungs with the breath work. And then we're going to do some yoga poses to stretch and release and just feel centered and grounded and just like a little energy reset. That's all you need sometimes, because sometimes you get really stressed and it's like a snowball effect, and then one thought goes to the next thought, and then it's like before you know it, you're in like a whole cycle of thoughts and your mind's racing. So this is just something that can help you get out of that little cycle. All right, let's begin. If you lie down on your mat, take hands behind the thighs, lift your heart, take a deep inhale, and then exhale, release. So you're gonna go inhale through your nose, and then exhale, release through your mouth. Two more. Open your heart, exhale, release. One more time, breathing in. Exhale, release. Now slowly you're gonna take it all the way down to your mat. Excellent. All right, next, go to the sides of your rib cage with each hand and just take a really deep inhale with your nose. Inhale. Feel the ribs expand wide open and apart. And then on your exhale, feel how the ribs pull down. They wrap together. Even the ends of the fingertips come closer together. So you feel the back of the ribs inflate into the mat underneath your body. And then you're going to exhale. And just feel those ribs funnel down together. Feel the chest fall. Your breastbone melts down towards your heart. So you just breathe in. Ribs expand three-dimensionally. And now you just exhale. Feel the ribs funnel down and together. Feel the elongation of your spine into the mat. Two more times, breathing in. And then exhale. Deep exhale. One more time. So feel those ribs laterally expand. Now exhale, soften. All right. Chances are the center of your spine between the two shoulder blades is now touching the mat. You'll feel how the low back releases gently into the mat. Now if we breathe shallow chest breathing, our shoulders can internally rotate and hike up into our ears. Let's do shoulder protraction, retraction of the shoulder girdle, the shoulder blades. So keep head down on mat. Relax the mouth, the jaw, the facial muscles. Allow your shoulder blades to lift up away from the center of your spine. And then you exhale as they reconnect down to the mat. It's a shoulder blade slap, actually. Exhale, they fall back down to the mat. Inhale, they rise. Exhale, they fall. Inhale. Feel sides and neck lengthen. That'll feel really good if your shoulders were hiking up earlier. Two more. And then we're going to get our arm bone to go deeper into the shoulder socket. So You're going to lift the shoulder blades up, rotate thumbs away, thumbs rotate back, place your shoulder blades down to the mat so they come closer to the spine again. So you go up, out, in, and down. You're going to go up and out, in and down. Feel some space open up mid-back between those two shoulder blades. 4 more. Sides and neck lengthen. You could even have your head on a pillow here if you need a little extra support for your neck. 2 more. And last one. Excellent. Now I'll have you take your arms all the way down by your sides. And at this point, rotate palms to the ceiling, palms to sky. And just feel how the front of your shoulders and chest open. Now we have our knees bent and our feet are flat. I want you to come into a reclined butterfly, little Supta Baddha Konasana. So the soles of your feet are going to come together, and then your knees are just going to butterfly out by your sides, and then gravity is going to be pushing on those inner thighs as well as this crease right on the front of the hip. Feel how chest is open. And just stay here for a few breath cycles. We're breathing in through our nose. Feel how the ribs expand in all directions. And then we just exhale through our mouth. Let it all go. Exhale and just feel how the ribs fall down in together. So you breathe in. And then those ribs just fall down and together. Softening. They funnel downward. You release your breastbone. Your sternum melts deeper into your chest. So you breathe in. And then you exhale. Breathing in, and then you exhale. Feel openness across the front of your shoulders and chest. And you'll feel how the hips are starting to get a deeper stretch, your inner thighs as well. Soften and release. You'll feel how the mind starts to calm down with the breath. And if you are too much in your head or you had thoughts racing, this will bring you into your body and it changes your focus, your awareness. So then you could just kind of relax and not feel like you're constantly thinking about this, that, or the other thing. So the breath is very calming and very grounding. If you get overwhelmed with too many choices or too many things you have to get done or too many things you're doing all at once and you feel your energy is fragmented in all directions, the best thing you can do is just stop so you don't keep feeding that negative feedback loop. You just stop, bring your awareness into your body, you start breathing, and then as you breathe, you'll change that feedback loop. You'll feel calm, and then all the things that were getting to you no longer will, because you're just present in the very moment. So it just resets you, and then when you go back to tackle the obstacles or the challenges you're having, or if you're having a work problem, thinking of how to solve something, when you step away, sometimes that's the best thing you can do. You get into your body, you give yourself space, and sometimes the answers and the solutions just come to you out of nowhere because you have that calmness, you have that space, and you take that pressure off yourself of trying to figure something out. So it's nice to just go inward, breathe, and just forget about everything on the outside. Because when you re-step and go back to everything, you'll notice that you have a different approach. You have a different perspective, and your perspective will be more positive, and you'll be seeing solutions without even trying. So that's why you have to know when to just stop, when it's ineffective, whatever you're doing, and just take a time out, because we all need timeouts no matter who we are. We all need a timeout here and there. Chances are you're calm now. You just feel chill. Let's take one more deep inhale. Those hips will be releasing even more, those inner thighs. Exhale. Slowly close your knees like a book. And then I'm going to have you reach under the knees, hug them in tight. Now feel that low back really drop into the mat. And just settle into the mat for a second from head to tailbone. Just settle in. And gently rock side to side. Cross the low back if that's comfortable for your low back. Just getting your back to release. And then I want to do something that if you sit at the computer all day, this is helpful because it's going to get your spine to release. It's going to help stabilize your lumbar spine, your low back. We want to get rid of a hyperlordotic arch. We want to feel the natural curves of our spine. So we just want to feel like we're lengthening head away from tailbone. We're going to press all four corners of our feet into the mat. You want to be careful the knees don't splay out. Hips, knees, shoulders, hips. The middle of the kneecap goes straight over the second toe. Our hip joint's not out here. The hip joint is closer inside here, and there's like a plumb line that goes straight down the thigh through the center of the kneecap. That way we can track our knees as well. So we're going to avoid using a pillow. If you have one, take it out, but avoid putting direct pressure on the neck. When you're in the right spot, your collarbones open wide across the chest, and then you'll feel this part really open as you rest across the middle back, the shoulder blade shelf. Press arms long against the mat. Press into all four corners of your feet, and you want to feel as if you're elongating the tailbone away, and you could feel the front of your thighs stretch long. These hip joints are like a joint, a hinge. We lift straight up. We feel the openness. Our collarbones are wide. There's no pressure in the neck. And then we're going to tighten abdominals to bring our body straight down to mat. And then inhale. Exhale, engage your glutes. Stretch tailbone away. Breathe in at the top. Now exhale, scoop core tight. Lower the pelvis to the mat. Hips hit, same time. Inhale, exhale, lift, stretch tailbone away. Slowly scoop in, lower hips to mat. 7, really stretch tailbone away, squeeze your glutes, press hips to sky, lower straight back to mat. 6 more, exhale, elevate, and lower down. Inhale, exhale, 5. Feel that awareness of pressing into all four corners of your feet. And 4, chest is open, stretch tailbone away. And 3, use your core, breathe in, breathe out, scoop the core in tight. Lower hips straight to mat. 1 more time, press hips to sky. Maybe float the arms up. Shoulder blades anchor, soften through your breastbone, place that vertebra down, inhale, exhale, go down another vertebra, inhale, exhale. All the vertebra come down, excellent. Hug knees to chest, avoid flexing up if you have osteoporosis. Take a deep inhale to the mid-back between those 2 shoulder blades, and softly you're going to release all the way back to your mat. We're going to do a cactus with our arms. Place your arms on the mat, forearms, palms to sky, and just feel openness across shoulders and chest. If you're super tight and you feel a pulling, maybe you'd elevate your elbows and just stick a pillow or a yoga block under each elbow so you don't feel like you're overstretching those pectoral muscles. See how you feel. Crisscross the right knee above the left knee, over the left knee. And then I want you to just slowly start to swivel your legs to the left. Feel the openness across shoulders, chest. We're going to twist our spine. Avoid twisting with osteoporosis. Osteoporosis, you would keep your tailbone heavy, and you would just do this little modification to elongate the side of your waist without lifting your tailbone off the mat. So if you're not worried about herniated disc or spinal stenosis, osteoporosis, you could go ahead and go a little deeper into that twist. Feel chest is open and just breathe. And we want to go deep into the lower lobes of the lungs when we breathe. So you inhale, your ribs expand, chest opens, and then you exhale softly, letting the air back out of your lungs. Feel that side line open up, those ribs open apart. Space between bottom of rib cage and where the hip bone begins. We're lengthening that space in there. Exhale. Soften the breastbone. Relax the sternum. It melts into the chest. Ribs cascade down and together. 2 more inhales here. Exhale, softly release. 1 more time, deep inhale. Exhale, softly release. Slowly return to the center. Uncross. Relax your shoulders for a second. Realign. So you have your shoulders, your hips, your knees, your ankles. Everything's in that pattern of alignment. So you're straight. Come back into your cactus arms position. If you need pillows, stick some pillows under the elbows so it alleviates some of that tension if it is too tense in there. Crisscross, left knee over the right. Chest is open. And then modify, you would just do this small little reach to the side. Feel like you're opening your ribs off your hip bone. You're increasing the length on that side of your body. And if it's okay, you can twist spine. Go ahead and go a little deeper into the twist. Breathe in, keep your shoulders down against the mat. Feel posterior ribs expand. Feel lateral ribs expand. Inhale. Maybe your head looks the opposite way. Maybe you just keep it centered for your alignment. Melt. Melt the breastbone into the chest with each exhale. Breathing into those ribs can also help you if you have osteoporosis in your spine, because we make some more room between the vertebrae for your spine to have a little more space. Feel that rib cage really expand 3-dimensionally. 2 more deep inhales. Feel those ribs expand. Exhale. And 1 more time. Deep inhale. Exhale, softly, gently release. Wonderful. Slowly come back to the center. All right, we're going to uncross that leg. Maybe lift pelvis up. Readjust those shoulders, hips, knees, ankles. Everything's in alignment. You want that open spaciousness across shoulders and chest. And let's do a little Ananda Balasana. Let's take it into a little happy baby here. So I want you to bend the knees in, elbows inside knees. Reach to the lateral pinky toe side of each foot. And you're just going to softly, gently let those knees fall open to the sides towards your mat. Feel like you have equal pressure across each half of your pelvis. So you're not leaning into one hip more than the other. You're just inhaling. It's like your thigh, your femur bones are dropping deeper back into the acetabulum, into that ball and socket hip joint. Breathe in, breathe out. Just let the back of the pelvis sink into your mat. When you inhale, feel the entire length of your spine touch down on the mat. Exhale, soften through the ribs, let your breastbone melt. One more deep inhale to the center of your spine, low back, inhale. Exhale, softly, gently release. Excellent. Gently, if it's within your practice, rock side to side across the low back, like you're giving your low back a little massage. And then from here, gently just hug in, release, let your spine settle down into the mat for a moment. Excellent. Now we're just gonna take both legs. I want you to extend them all the way down to your mat. And then I'm gonna ask you to roll over onto your abdominals. And then I wanna create some space between your vertebrae, because if you drive too long, or sit at a desk for too long, you start to compress everything and it pulls your shoulders forward. It makes you hunch over. We just want to reverse that posture. We just want to get our natural posture back with we have our different curves through the spine. There's a lordotic curve in the cervical spine, kyphotic curve in the thoracic, and then the lumbar spine has a lordotic curve. And then we can have different degrees of curve where it can overcompensate. We could have too much lordosis in the low back. We could have too much kyphosis in the mid back. And then we could have too much kyphosis also where our neck comes forward instead of that nice little lordotic curve. So we just want to try to bring our spine into the most natural alignment that we possibly can, just to support our load, our spinal load, and gravity, because gravity pushes down on us every single day of every single week, month, year. So whatever we can do to help offset that gravity is going to be really beneficial for us. So let's go ahead and turn. We're going to turn onto our abdominals, and then we're going to align our elbows directly under our shoulders. And then I want you to you're just going to have your hip points be down on the mat. And then I want you to feel like you're strong by connecting across your middle back, so you don't want to collapse. I collapsed on purpose to show you what I mean. So you push down into your forearms, you rise up. Now the load can be transferred across your upper mid back. And then I don't want you to let your head throw back. Tilt the chin slightly forward so you can create some space and room between your neck vertebrae. And just stay here and breathe. Feel how you're pressing into the forearms. Your shoulders are relaxed down away from your ears. Coming into that deep diaphragmatic breathing. If you're more comfortable, you can even breathe into your belly. If that's better for you, you can breathe into your belly. Feel chest fill, ribs expand, feel belly full, expansion. And gently exhale. One more deep inhale. Exhale, softly, gently release. You could either stay here or take a couple breaths and seal. We stretch our arms out in front, elbows point down, neck is long, abdominals can even scoop in to help support your back. Just being careful that you don't compress the low back or you don't compress your shoulders by hiking them to ears. So just keep those shoulders down and back. You can come down a little bit if it feels like you're compressing the low back. Just come down, lower down a little bit more. Just take a couple breaths here just to increase it a little tiny bit in your seal pose. One more deep inhale here. Exhale, softly release. And slowly I want you to lower down, rock side to side across your low back, release, cross the back, rock the hips. Gently nod head side to side across forehead. Your Ajna wisdom center. Return back to the center, and I wish for you to slowly roll your shoulders away from your ears, press onto your hands and your knees, come into a little rest pose just to release your spine after being in extension. Either take the tops of your feet down to the mat, let your tailbone sink back, or curl the toes under for extra knee support. And then you're just going to let your shoulders drop away from your ears. Reach those sits bones straight behind your body. Maybe place your forehead on top of a yoga block. You could also give your knees extra support so you don't put all the weight on the knees. You could also give your hip socket a little extra space by putting a yoga block behind you like that, and you just bought some space for your hips, for your spine, and less pressure here on the knees. And then you could also have another yoga block under your forehead to support you, and see how that feels. Take a few breaths here. Send those sits bones reaching straight back behind you as your heart pulls forward through the arms, oppositional energy. Exhale, softly release. Feel your energy being renewed, restored effectively. Feel that calm sense of peace and balance being restored, mind, body, and spirit. One more deep inhale. Exhale, softly, gently release. And slowly walk hands under your shoulders And then take a deep inhale, press into your palms, rise up, lift head away from tailbone, elevate up, excellent. We're just gonna take that yoga block out. Now modified, you could take your yoga block horizontally like that across your mat, and then you would just stick it right across the center of your mat, and then you could give your hips more space, your low back more space, just by sitting on the block like that. So I'll show you, and then you'd extend your legs in front. And now this is especially helpful if you've been sitting at a desk, computer all day long, and then your back feels tight, your hips feel tight. You just lifted yourself up to create some space, some length, so you're not tight, you're not fighting a tight hip flexor, and you're not fighting a tight low back. So you just released yourself to align your spine straight. I have a tendency to let my ribs pop forward. So to get those ribs not to pop forward, the front ribs meet the back ribs. So your rib cage is now over the pelvis. You take a deep inhale, lift and lengthen. Now you're going to hinge over the front of those thighs. So we're going to hinge from the hip socket and not bend the back. You elevate up, and you could either reach for the shins. You could place both hands under the knees for some extra support as you pull your heart through. You could flex toes to sky and just feel the back of it all the way up the back chain. The soleus is right above the heel. That's an endurance muscle. Like marathon runners really use the soleus. Basketball players use that gastrocnemius, that calf muscle that helps you get explosive motion, like jumping up in the air. And then if you can grab your toes, lift heart through, and just stay here and breathe. Elevate your heart, lift and lengthen. You can feel when you flex your feet how the hamstring connects right at the top where the glutes are. You can feel that insertion point. Breathing in, breathing out. Soften. Feel the breastbone melt into the chest with the exhale. You can go a little deeper if you want. Feel how that space is opening across that low back. You could stay here on your block. I'm going to come down off mine. Keep inhaling, keep exhaling. Lift and lengthen, front ribs meet back ribs. Pull your heart through the arms. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears and stay here and breathe. Feel the back of those ribs expand, front, back, sides of ribs expand. Exhale. Go a little deeper if you can. Now we're in our caterpillar, our forward fold, like Paschimottanasana. Pull the heart through, lift your heart, breathing in, breathing out. Osteoporosis, if you have it, you would just go like that, hip hinge, and keep it up high so you don't overdo anything. Pull breastbone forward, lengthen spine. Take one more deep inhale. Exhale, softly, gently release. Rise up, lift head away from tailbone. Shake out those knees, get those legs to release. Excellent. We're going to counter that forward bend. So we're just going to take arms overhead, roll shoulders down and back, gently press into your heels, modified, bend the knees, elevate like that. Your inner thighs pull together in your table. Otherwise, extend those legs straight. Scoop the abdominals to spine, open the heart, elevate, look straight, and stay here and breathe. Breathing in, reverse, plank, exhale. Breathing in, exhale, feel those core muscles engage, glutes are engaged. Exhale. 2 more deep inhales here, breathing in, breathing out, exhale. 1 more time, deep inhale. Exhale, softly, gently release. Excellent. Shake out those knees again. We're going to do 1 more, just a seated butterfly. Maybe you're sitting on your block like this. So your sits bones are right on top of that block. Again, we're buying the space to open between the hip flexor and the low back. And it'll help you so your spine is aligned. We want to have a straight spine, or we want our spine aligned so our chakras line up. So we can help balance the energy. Breathing in, breathing out. Just let your knees fall open to the sides. You could have a pillow under each knee if you wanted. Just stay here and breathe for a few counts. Breathing in, breathing out. Feel how it's opening some space right in the front of the hip. I actually ran barefoot on the beach today, and I haven't done that in a really long time, and I just had to do it today. It was necessary. Oh, it was so nice. I'm going to start trying to do that some more again. When you do it too much, your feet hurt. And then when you don't do it enough, you miss it. My feet feel great right now, so something about running barefoot with your feet touching the sand, it just is, it's grounding. It's really nice. It's grounding your energy, connecting you to the earth. And being up on a block, you're going to notice how your hips have space, and right now I can feel how my legs want to fall out more. So I'm just going to let them, letting my feet come a little bit closer so the feet can rotate upwards. Just breathe. Feel the ribs expand 3-dimensionally in all directions. And maybe you just stay like this, seated tall. And this feels good for you here, now, in this moment. Stay here. If you want to take it a little deeper, maybe try to hinge forward a little bit. Hinge from the crease in your thighs. So you're keeping your spine long, hinging over. In a second, I'm feeling hips release, so I'm going to bring my block out from underneath me. And then I might use my block in front of my body now. If you have 2 blocks, you're at an advantage. You don't have to come down, you just grab your second block. So, I think I need this up high today. I'm trying to stay rooted and grounded equal through each hip. Sometimes we could be skewed and leaning into one hip more than the other. Then we start to affect all the surrounding muscles and tissues. So we really want to try to get level. Sometimes I lean more to one side. We really want to get level. When you level, you realign. You won't be able to stretch as far because those tight muscles, things that were lax in the wrong spot, all of a sudden they're in their proper alignment and they're like, what are you doing to me? and then it feels like a little harder to stretch. So you just listen to your body, do what you can. I need it for my forearms. Let's see, maybe way up here even. That's even better. Sometimes you just feel spent and just relax. That's what you should do, and not force your body to work too hard. Breathing in, breathing out. So your nervous system is probably way more calm now than when you started. You feel a little easier to breathe more deeply. And you're in your body, not in your head. So you feel calm, a little more balanced. Take a couple more deep inhales here. Oh, and more deep inhale. Exhale, softly, gently release. We're gonna come back up. Close your knees like a book. Take hands by your sides. Roll across the sides of those hips, and a little windshield wiper. It's gonna feel a little stiff and uncomfortable when you come out of that. Oh, roll right across the hips. There we go. All right. If you've ever had a hip replacement, remember you don't want to cross that knee over midline. You don't want to affect that. All right, let's take it all the way down into our Shavasana. You could put a block under your head as a pillow if you wanted. If not, just come on down to your mat, all the way down. Maybe you'll just tighten your abdominal wall in, lower down slowly. Reach those arms over your head. Take a deep inhale. Just feel your whole body stretch apart. Now gently just bring hands down to the mat. Maybe have palms face the sky. Just allow your legs to release. And just let your body absorb all the work you just did. So hopefully your joints feel released. You let some tension out of your body. Just reset, hit the reset button. So tomorrow you start off again at 0. So if you get cranked up again, at least you didn't start the day off cranked up, you're at 0. So it's nice to hit that reset button now and again. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale through nose. Exhale through mouth. Oh, and more deep inhale. Exhale, softly, gently release. Start to wiggle your toes, your fingers. Come on back to your physical body. Relax the neck. Maybe look over each shoulder for a second. Release slowly. All right, reach those arms overhead. Another deep inhale. Exhale, softly release. All right, slowly, I want you to turn to one side. Stay here for a moment. Your blood pressure changes when you're moving from direction to direction. So I don't want you to see stars by just jumping up or anything. And now just slowly press into your hands. We're going to rise up to a seated position, and this concludes our workout for tonight. So I hope you feel more balanced, more peaceful, more calm, and just feel like you hit the reset button for your energy stores to just be calm, grounded, starting at 0. So the next day, if you get your stress levels going up, at least you know what to do at the end of the day to bring them back down here so they just don't keep going higher and higher and higher. Because if the stress levels keep going higher and higher and higher, If you don't let it out, it's going to go into your body as illness or sickness. So very important that you release that, get it out of your system. And that's what we did tonight. So I thank you so much for joining me. One more deep inhale. Exhale, hands to heart center. Anjali Mudra. Breathing in, feeling grateful, feeling gracious, and at peace. Thank you. If you like my content, please hit share, like, subscribe. Help me grow my channel. Thank you so much. Peace, everyone. I hope this helped. See you again soon. Bye. Sunday, I work all day, so I won't be back Sunday. I'll see what I could do tomorrow. Peace. See you soon. Bye. Take care. If I can find the right button. I just took 2 pictures of myself and I didn't want to. I was hitting the camera. Here, I'm going to stop. Bye. I just realized what I did.